About 30 seconds till we go. Let's go up. Get ready. First gear. Pit button off. Should be getting close. Get her cranked up. Get close, 9 and turn 14. Driver's left. Just keep an eye out. About 30 seconds till we go. Let's go up. Get ready. First gear. Pit button off. 30 seconds till we go. Let's go up. Get ready. First gear. Hit button off. Should be getting close. Get her cranked up. Hit close sign and turn 14. Driver's left. Just keep an eye out.
It's 3 lights, 4 lights, 5 lights, go, go, go! Stadium section now, look at the second, third, fourth, fifth, all together, and the pressure is
Really, because Big Dick Jono has the bits online for the next one, and if you're going to go get some bits, Big Dick Jono is a very respectful racing at the
he's in the lead! Just fucking senses. Good morning, good afternoon, or good evening, wherever you're watching right around the world. Hello and welcome to round number 4 of this KRL Championship. Tonight, it's the Tier 1 guys, and we're back here at Le Mans to do it all over again, or salut, as the French would say. I think that means hello, as we see the cars. Our man Wilco there on your screen. And then Cart Dude as well, the Taswegian. So drivers getting out nice and early with this one. We apologise for the late start here this evening for the Tier 1 race tonight. But we did have some issues. There was a software update as well, I believe. So we had to wait for everybody to get that done, restart and go again. But it is great to have your company with us at this beautiful circuit. Very famous, of course, host of the French Grand Prix. And, of course, who could forget the classic 24 hours of Le Mans. Hopefully we can see it this year, but I believe it's been postponed. But enough about that, as I welcome my co-commentator, assistant manager, if you don't mind, Rob Pearson. Rob, big hello to you and welcome back for another week.
Cheers, Trevor. It's been a big week for the Untouchables, you with your competition and me getting a new job and a fancy new title. So, yeah, it's great to be back. And a circuit we all love, Trev. It's, last time we were here with GTE cars, it was quite, how do we say, I wouldn't say messy, but very dramaful. There were a lot of fallout from an incident that happened here just not even a year ago now, Trev. So it's a circuit we all love, and just great memories from that race. Cart Dude absolutely punting Big Dick Jono off the circuit. Little bit of heated tension between those guys back in that season, but I do believe Cart Dude came on top in the championship at the end of that championship, and it was all over and done with. But I can certainly remember the drama from this race, Trev.
Who could forget? And in fact, it's just etched in my memory so much that I think we've even named a couple of corners around this circuit tonight after Jono and Cart Dude. But I've got to say, I think it was the number 15 Thai green curry chicken with noodles. We got awfully excited at the end of that one, but what a titanic struggle that was. As Piston Broke says, hello Trev and Rob, and Hayne 1994, the man who's a pretty handy peddler, a man we saw in one of our championships, our previous championships on this channel. He says, hey lads, thumbs up, great to have you with us, Hayne, and everybody watching here tonight. And like we said, we have shaved a few minutes off of qualifying here tonight as we look at V8 Man in that very nice livery that he has there. So 13 drivers starting this race. We had a dozen or so last night, and tonight we've got a baker's dozen. But I've got to ask you here, Rob, what are the challenges around this circuit? We've got that day to night transition, and a lot of people have said it's an easy track, but if you don't concentrate, especially in that last sector, it can completely ruin your lap, as we see V8 Man getting sideways there.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of people think it's an easy circuit, but there's a lot of tips and tricks I've learned around here over the years. I've been racing the circuit way back in the GT4 days. Great times they were, especially with a few of the cars on there. I remember the Minolta Toyota Le Mans car. It was great fun, twin turbo V8. But people think it's about the straights around here, but not really. It's this section here, the last sector, sector 3, coming through the Porsche S's into the Ford Chicanes. You need a well set up car, real well balanced car to get through here quickly, because that's where you're actually going to make up majority of your time. Because if you have a little bit of downforce on, you might be a little bit slower in the straights, but you're going to be so much quicker around those corners. So it'll be interesting to see what these guys have done tonight with their setups. We'll be able to show you and tell you what's going on with their cars as well. We are quite experienced with that sort of stuff ourselves, but yeah, it's getting those S's right, getting the Indianapolis right as well. The braking zone into there is quite terrifying. You're braking on a corner, which is never ideal, Trev. It can be very scary, especially in these cars, rear locking. Very important in these cars. You just don't want to lock those rear brakes and go into something sideways. But yeah, the straights are a big factor. Getting those chicanes right is very, very hard as well. But overall, the circuit's very hard. I mean, you can certainly go for a straight line speed setup, but I feel like personally that's just not the way to go. Good balanced setup is always the more optimal way to go.
It's all about the balance, no doubt about that, as we take a look at some qualifying notes here, as we look at short fuse. Now Cart Dude on your screen now, just a tick under 10 minutes remaining in this qualifying session here tonight. Track temperature of 28 degrees here in qualifying. We're expecting a pole position time of a low to mid 3 minutes 54. And just to compare, Rob Dog, my good man, Tier 2 pole position was by Aussie Assault last night, and that was a 3 minutes 55.3 in the fast Corvette, which is pretty slippery down that main straight. Track temperature for the race, of course, will be 28 degrees, but as we know, Rob, that can drop very quickly as the sun goes down, and if we get a bit of rain too, it can also have an effect on track temperature tonight.
Yeah, certainly will have an effect. I mean, the thing is, Trev, the thing to take into account is the first sector, Mulsanne Straight. You're not putting any lateral load through those tyres, so at the end of Mulsanne Straight, you're going into another straight, and you're going to have cold tyres. I mean, the brakes might have a little bit of temperature in them, but your tyres are still going to be cold. So it's going to be those guys who have taken a bit of a risk and tried to put a little less pressure in their tyres, less straight line speed again, but try and retain that temperature to try and get better exits, etc. It'll be certainly the guys on top, but it'll be interesting to see how it plays out. And certainly rain on Mulsanne Straight. I don't know where the puddles actually form. and those guys will be finding out how hard it is to drive on a slippery white line in the pouring wet. So it'll be very, very interesting for all of us.
As we see Wimpinator into the pits then, Nemo is just getting ready to come round and start his hot lap. No drivers have set a time at this stage, but given that a lap around here, especially if you're travelling slowly, Rob, can take about 4 or 5 minutes or so. That could change very quickly as we take a look at the points. And you should be able to see the points up on your screen in the top right-hand corner. How good is this technology here, Rob? OBS working beautifully. It is short fuse on 50 points. Very tight at the top of this championship with only 3 races left, including tonight. Big Dick Johnson up there, always up there, one of our favourites, of course, on 48 points. Wimpinator on 44, John Dog on 35, Cartu the Taswegian on 24, OGT from OGT to Andy Holden, 6th, 7th and 8th, all on 16 points. Waffles behind him on 15. The rest of the points are on your screen. Even our man Wilco down there in 12th position, Rob, with 6 points. But at the sharp end, this is a very close championship with 3 rounds to go.
Yeah, it's, dare I say, anybody's championship. You know, we all like a good tight fight, and I mean, yeah, Short Fuse has been incredibly good, very consistent, but you know, with maybe around here or there going not his way, it could certainly come down to the wire, and maybe even the last lap of the last race, which we'd all love to see. A last lap dash for a race win and a championship win. But Katu just setting the first time lap there of a 3:53.6. That's not bad considering that a Lamar car can comfortably lap around here in a 3:13. So for a GTE car to go into that sort of pace, that's pretty impressive, Trev.
Certainly is. 6 minutes and counting here in this qualifying session, and I've got to say, Cartoon has made an absolute liar of me, Rob, because we expected that pole time to be a low to mid 3 minutes 54 around here. And you know what? Cartoon said, well, guess what? I'm going to go even better than that. And he's got a 3 minutes 53.6. And just to put that into comparison, I know we've still got a few guys who are yet to set times, Rob, but that is 3.6 seconds off of Andy and P2 and Voodoo.
He's done a good job there to keep that all straight.
He's done very well to keep that out of the wall. They're having a bit of a moment there. And LJ Hooker, he raced last night, of course, so he should know this track fairly well. But one thing that was interesting last night, Rob, was there's such a difference with the top end speed on that famous straight, of course. Some guys getting up over 300 and some other cars almost 20 kilometres down. Is there a reason for that? Is that a setup thing, or is that just down to the cars?
I'd say that would be a setup thing. One of the tricks to having a bit of a higher downforce setup, Trev, and I guess these guys would have been really regretting not knowing this earlier, but actually pumping up the tyres, that actually reduces the rolling resistance and can get you a few extra Ks. But so certainly the guys who are running 20 Ks less would be running a high downforce setup. You can see their hook just getting on those ripple strips, and that's the danger zone there into the chicanes on Mulsanne. Is just those ripple strips just are so slippery. It's very dangerous, a good way to make lap time, but yeah, it's always a big risk, especially in these cars. But yeah, some of those guys who are 20 Ks down would definitely be running a lot more downforce than some of the guys up in the 300s. But you know, it's a lose-gain sort of thing. You're going to lose all the straights, you're going to gain in the corners, so it's always good to keep an eye out for. It'll be interesting to see how the slipstream plays in tonight.
And Piston Broke just saying the Corvette good for 310 plus unassisted here. And it's always been a good car in a straight line, there's no doubt about that. And we've got less than 4 minutes now. John Dog, he's on our screen at the moment. Where is he? Well, I'll tell you where he is. He's currently 4.4 seconds off of pole position at the moment as our man Wilco pops up into second place. Still a huge gap between first and second. Almost reminds me of qualifying for the 1988 Monaco Grand Prix, that famous lap of Ayrton Senna, where I think he was almost 2 seconds quicker than Prost in that particular race. But 3 and a bit minutes to go then. Big Dick Johnson, the man in P2 in this championship on 48 points, is having a crack at it here at the moment. He has not set a lap time, And with 3 minutes to go, it's a long lap around here, Rob. These guys have got to find some clear space. Traffic, not so much of an issue here, of course, because of the length of this circuit. But if you get your timing wrong, you might miss a final run here in qualifying.
Yeah, certainly. I mean, with a reduced session time as well, that doesn't make anything any better. I mean, it's 5 minutes sort of outlap as well. You've got to go through that pit lane, which is a very, very long pit lane. But yeah, I'd say 4.5 minutes it takes to do a lap around here just on your outlap. So certainly now the guys who are finishing a lap will be definitely looking at either doing another lap. But if they can't, they are certainly going to be watching this with a lot of intent, I'd say, Trev, especially with the guys out there trying to get some slipstream. You see Big Dick Jono behind his teammate Wilco as well. Just trying to find that little extra slipstream. I do think that Wilco is a little bit too far ahead now to gain that benefit. But these guys do practice this a lot in the practice sessions, just trying to get that toe, trying to get that extra speed on the straights.
As here we go then. Look at that. We can see the drivers now. Let's just recap. If you're just joining us, hello and welcome. It's round 4 of this KRL season, Tier 1 Championship GTE style, here at one of the most famous circuits on the World Motorsport calendar, Le Mans, the Circuit de la Sarthe. And I'm with you, Rob, right back to Gran Turismo 4, I think it might have been on that game. And there was, on the older Gran Turismo games, Rob, you could actually do a 24-hour race around this track. And I can remember being a lot younger than what I am now and sitting up all night with a few mates trying to do the 24-hour race. That was a long, long time ago. 1 minute and 20 seconds and counting here tonight. Let's just recap these qualifying positions at the moment. It is Kart Dude way ahead of Wilco in second. As we look at Wimpinator now, Andy Holden in third. And Short Fuse. Well, oh my goodness, P1 for him, Rob, with a 3 minute 52.9 lap. He's cracked the 3 minutes 52 there. Incredible lap.
He does, and he's done it in the last seconds of qualifying. I mean, his front end does look a little worse for wear, and there goes his next lap. So this guy is out of qualifying. He's still sitting first, but this man is a bit of an expert around this place. I've followed him around here. And he's very, very hard to beat around here. Very, very quick. He loves this circuit, sort of his style. You can really get the rear end out and steer with the rear. Of course, comes from a karting background, this man, hence the name Kart Dude. So, yeah, this man is certainly maybe the lap to watch at the moment, Trev.
Certainly is. We've clicked over to double figures. And that usually means a bonus from our man Wilco, of course. 1 and 0. 10 people watching this stream. 10 seconds to go in qualifying. 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And that is it. That's all she wrote for qualifying here. But they've still got 310 seconds, which is a long time, isn't it, Rob, to get around this track. But the drivers will finish the lap that they're currently on. And that will be the end of qualifying. Short Fuse in pole position at the moment, unless this man can do something about it. The Taswegian Kart Dude. Kart in his name, a karter by nature. And Alan Shep says, who is an expert, not Wilco? Well, a little bit controversial there, Rob, from Big Shep straight up.
Oh, the front end's just gone a little bit light. You can see the understeer there. It's certainly scrubbed off some speed there, Trev, coming into the Porsche S's. Going to the left, this is the right. And usually in a Le Mans car, you can actually hug that inside there and keep it flat. Coming into the left-hander here, you clip that curbing, and he's just gone wide. And exactly the place, not even a year ago, where he certainly put Big Dick Johnson into the wall.
And look at that. So that is the end for Kart Dude. Big hello to you, Shep. Andy Holden now. Look at that gap, Rob, from Wilco in fourth down to Andy in P5 there. It's almost 3 seconds. And as we count down the final seconds of qualifying, hopefully that doesn't mean we're going to... Oh, it's very close. He is on the absolute limit, isn't he, Rob? But I just hope we don't see a race, almost like a two-tiered race here tonight with those gaps in qualifying here.
Yeah, I mean, it'd be interesting to see. Unfortunately, I haven't seen a Tier 2 race yet myself, but yeah, I mean, you can see Andy Holden there absolutely on the ragged edge at the moment, but you got to say that qualifying times don't really matter around this place. It's going to be, especially in those first couple of laps, positional gains, trying to position yourself within that top 3, trying to get that draft in, and trying to make it as easy as you can. Maybe sit behind a couple of guys for a little bit, save a little bit of fuel. That's always a possibility as well around here. A lot of opportunities to save fuel, especially sitting behind a car for such a long time down the Mulsanne Straight. You can see Andy Holden there just put a couple inputs the opposite way of the corner, trying to keep that thing as under control as he can. And this actually looks like a pretty quick lap, but don't want to put the commentator's curse on it just yet. Coming into the 4 chicanes, and last one, the left and the right. And you got to plant this thing as quick as you can. Don't get on those ripple strips. You will lose a lot of time there from wheel spin. And I'm really, really interested now to see where that puts him.
Ooh, where does that put him? Well, I can tell you that is qualifying done and dusted. Aussie Assault saying, get up, shorty. And, well, he's done half the job. As you can see him, they're on pole position by 0.2 of a second over Can't Dude, everybody's favourite Taswegian in second. Then it's Wimpinator, not too bad there, 1.6 seconds off of pole position. Wimpinator pipping Wilco there to 3rd place, but Wilco's still getting a start on the 2nd row of the grid. Andy Holden in 5th. B-Bear, Voodoo Child in 6th. John Dog 2010 in 7th. Yeah, okay, V8 Man, we won't make any jokes tonight, Rob. V8 Man in P8. The 8 in his name, 8th on the grid. LJ Hooker, not the best down there. 5 seconds off of pole position. Nemo, hashtag Nemo Nation. Let's get it trending on the live chat. Nemo in 10th. Compact in 11th with a 1-place grid penalty. He might have been a bit of a naughty boy, Crofty. And Rick Oztech rounding out your top 12. We've got a dozen drivers. No, we don't. Big Dick Johnson at the back. What is going on there, Roberto?
I have no idea. Maybe he just couldn't get a lap in. That's always possible, and it just happens to the best of us, doesn't it? Certainly, Big Dick Johnson is definitely the best one of the best on the grid. Certainly, short fuse. It's looking very, very handy at the moment. Cardi is very as well. Wimpinator, very, very quick. Wilco is always a dark horse. It's weird to call him a bit of a dark horse, but you know, John Dog and Andy Holden certainly can definitely get up there. So, you know, that's a grid full of very, very decent drivers at the moment. But, yeah, Big Dick John probably just not being able to set a time. But you never know. There could be an incident or something like that that will happen during the race. And he might be able to pick up some spots from that and gain some very, very valuable points.
Here we go. We're almost ready to go, Roberto. I'm excited. So should everyone be at home. Waffle says, well done, Shorty. Shep says, hello, fellas. Come on, Wilco's son. Concentrate, Wilco. V, Voodoo Child, says hopefully a good race. He lost 0.6 of a second in the last 2 turns. We did mention those last 2 corners could be tricky. And Wilco says Jono has only done the 2 laps he did in quali. So who knows? It could be a reverse grid type race from last to first challenge for John. Big Dick Johnson. Our man could come through the field here tonight, but we're almost ready to go. Baker's dozen, 13 drivers staring down into the Dunlop curves at turn 1 at this famous circuit, Sacre Bleu. We're almost ready for action here. Round 4 of this championship. Great to have everybody with us here tonight. Like I keep saying, don't forget to subscribe to this channel if you haven't already. We've got 3 races left in this championship. And then we've got a few new games coming out on the PS4, Rob, so we'll let people know what we're doing after that. But here we go, 10 laps of this circuit here tonight. It's going to be short fuse on pole position. Can't do it alongside him. We are almost ready to go. The wait is over. Here we go for round 4. Go, and Can't Dude, look at that, shoots off the line. Short fuse gets a bad start and he could be down into 3rd as Wimpinator, our man Wilco, currently still in 4th position off the line as they all stream down into turn 1. Rick Oztech,
oh, contact!
And there's contact and it's compact around already, Rob.
Yeah, compact around, but as I said, there will be an accident. Big Dick Jono's going from that. He's now in points-paying position. So Big Dick Jono gaining another position on Nima. Andy Holden's neck. He's certainly got the momentum there. Andy Holden covering off Very, very smart move actually from Andy Holden, covering off there. It's not going to lose him much time at all, but Carter getting a fantastic start, I've got to say, Trev. Off the line, Wimpinator, another big winner out of that. Wilco as well. Short Fuse is just dropping through the field now, lost 3 positions from his pole position. And Voodoo Child is on his keister as well, so this is all to play for.
It certainly is here. Lap 1 out of 10. What a hectic start here at Le Mans. And now it's Voodoo Child. What a bad start for Short Fuse. Look at this. 2nd, 3rd, 4th and 5th all together, and we can still see our leader. It's the Taswegian out in front, and they're almost going to be 3 wide, are they? As Voodoo Child riding on bonnet cam with him at the moment. He slots in behind Short Fuse. Our man Wilco currently in a podium position. But boy, oh boy, he's under intense pressure, and now Cart Dude still out in front, then 7 tenths ahead of Wimpinator. Jason in 3rd, Short Fuse as they all stream down, and look how close they are, Rob. 3 wide.
Yeah, 3 wide, very possible down around here, but don't want to be doing that until you're going into the chicanes. It's a bit of a scary thing, and it could be 4 wide. This is absolute hectic stuff. These guys are certainly playing for keeps in the midfield. Big Dick Jono up in the 7th now, moving and shaking his way through the field. John Dog is next, but I do believe somebody's gone wide there. Could have been Andy Holden, I do believe it was. Just going a little bit too deep into the chicanes. Andy Holden's dropped back. I do believe he qualified 5th, so this is not a great result for him just yet, but there's still going to be 9.5 laps to go through this race, Trev, and it's just looking very, very exciting for all of us right now.
It's looking very spicy indeed, to quote yourself, Rob. It's going to be very sweaty out there. Look how close they are. You can see the standings up on your screen.
Oh, no! John Dog there, just getting a little tap. I wouldn't say a little tap from Big Dick Jono, but Big Dick Jono's up in the 6th now, so it could be a review on that pass indeed, but V8 Man's up beside Big Dick Jono, taking that position. No, a bit of bumping and grinding, a little bit of R-Kelly action there for certain, Trev.
And just be careful, fellas, because this could get messy. As Murray Walker used to say, that looked like a bit of argy-bargy there, Martin. You're right there, Murray. And lap 1, V8 Man, where's he? Well, I can tell you he's at P6.
He's going into the gravel trap now, and easy to do it in Indianapolis, Trev.
Instant commentators curse Roberto because he went off the circuit. Look at this down the inside. Can he hold the position? But Nemo and V8 Man, Nemo, Andy, all in there. Big Dick Johnson up to 7th, Rob, from 13th on the grid. He's halfway there at the moment.
Halfway there, so he's gained that position, he's lost, and now he's back on the keister of John Dog, so he might have just let him through, which is a great thing for him to do. But John Dog, it looks like he's leading a pack of very, very angry bees at the moment, and I would not want to be that man, because he's seeing all these cars moving left and right in his mirrors, and he's the target. He's the one they all want to get past, so that man really needs to get a wiggle on now. And I'm just looking at the timings at the moment. Between 1st position and 2nd position, Can't Do to Impinator is only 6 tenths in it, so that's certainly one to look out for as well. But the action back here is so exciting at the moment.
It certainly is, and V8 Man right up behind Big Dick Johnson, and he looked as though he was going to put some moves on Big Dick Johnson, the kind of moves that Big Dick Johnson is famous for, I might add. He just likes to stick it up the inside and pinch a corner, if you don't mind. But I've got to say, Rob, how good are the camera angles around this circuit? Some of those wide angle shots on that straight are absolutely tasty.
Yeah, very tasty. You can just see the Big Dick Jono look for the move there, locked up a brake, and wasn't going to happen any time there soon. The sun, he's just getting a little bit sideways as well. He's certainly playing around with that throttle quite a lot, but Big Dick Jono loves to get a little bit sideways up the inside, of course, and John Dog is defending with all of his might, but I don't think it's going to do much. Oh, Big Dick Jono just getting on that ripple strip again, and setting it sideways. That's going to slow him down a lot, and that's going to be a very big moving target for the A-Man, although I think John Dog was a little bit slow off that corner onto the Molson Straight, so this could be very interesting in the next couple of moments.
Well, I'm not sure what the word in French for sweaty is, Rob, but this is very sweaty, close, spicy stuff at the moment. Look at this. V8 Man down the inside. Is he going to get the move done? I reckon he will. He is through up to 300 kilometers an hour. Incredible stuff, and he's having a look now at John Dog. Oh my goodness, look at this. V8 Man, Big Dick Johnson. The slipstream is real here, folks. Don't forget about that John Dog. This is so close at the moment. And we're seeing some epic racing, and we're only on lap 2 out of 10 around this circuit. It's Cart Dude still leading the race, 2/10 ahead of Wimpinator. Then it's Short Fuse who picked up a penalty for something, as Bo P says, nice racing, guys. I hope you've subscribed, Bo P. If you don't mind, subscribe for this action each and every week, 2 nights a week, Robin. Look how close Big Dick Johnson is here. He's going to slip his big dick up the inside at any moment, I reckon.
He certainly could, but the 8-man's looking very comfortable behind John Dog, and actually, honestly, John Dog's actually doing a great job at the moment, keeping these guys behind, being attacked left, right and centre, and he's just holding his line, doing the right thing, holding his line, and yeah, he's holding position at the moment. These guys will be getting pretty sick and tired of it, I'll be honest. They just want to make up that position and get on with the job, but yeah, John Dog's doing a fantastic job keeping the car straight and narrow. But, yeah, I think the man is about to be tacked at the moment. Of course, we're only 4-4 after Lewis Hamilton. I could say some things, but Lewis Hamilton is not exactly my favourite man on the earth. But, yeah, you can see, actually, I think Big Dick Jono's running a little bit more downforce than these two in the front of him, because you can see he's just pulling away just ever so slightly on the straights here. But you can see Big Dick Jono, when he comes into the cornery stuff, oh, he gets it sideways, of course, into Indianapolis, but yeah, he's gaining time there.
He's through, I reckon, the John Dog, the Trilly train, as we like to call it, the John Dog train. He is holding them up at the moment, and V8 Man still. V8 Man and Big Dick Johnson. Big Dick Johnson's got slightly ahead of V8 Man, but they're still behind the John Dog train, and they are just waiting to be released. Like Cardinal Pell out of Barwon Prison, but I promised I wouldn't go with those sort of jokes this week. Nice, clean show here tonight. As Big Shep says, hold your ground, Wilco. Take no shit, mate. We're allowed to swear, Rob. We're meant to be a family show here, but oh, it just gets me, this stuff. It just gets me, Big Dick Johnson. Where can he get through here on this final part of the lap, I hear you ask? Where can he get through? What a stonking drive from Big Dick Johnson from the back of the grid. Started at the back, Robin, now he's here.
Yeah, he started from the bottom, now he's here. But, oh, just getting into the turn, into the Ford chicanes there. Not exactly where you want to be, but, oh, John Dog's a bit slow. He's been punted into the gravel trap there, and Big Dick Jono's through again. Practically the same way he got past him last time, but hopefully Big Dick Jono doesn't set it sideways, but I certainly would be trying to give that position away back to John Dog indeed, because I mean, it was a bit of a rough punt, but John Dog's certainly keeping up with these guys. He's certainly got a quick car in a straight line, so he can do something coming into chicanes in the next couple of moments. But, I mean, Big Dick Jono is pulling away at the moment, especially in this cornery stuff, Trev. The noodly stuff, and I do see some rain on the TV at the moment, so that's going to throw a big red flag in for everybody.
It certainly will. Sorry, I was just checking the radar.
V8 Man's around.
Oh, V8 Man spinning around. He's hit John Dog. He's gonna have to get that back on track. Well, I said I wouldn't sing. That rain is on the way. We're expecting that rain around lap 4 to 5. That's why we love this stuff. And I reckon we're going to need wet tyres around here, lap 6 or 7. And I've got to say, Rob, once that track gets wet, the Porsche curves are really going to be slippery here tonight.
Yeah, certainly. I mean, it's no big deal in a Le Mans car. All the downforce in the world, or as much as you want, indeed. But these cars are a lot heavier. Certainly got a lot of aero, but nothing compared to those, and certainly no four-wheel drive action either. But Wimpinator certainly having a look into the chicanes at the moment on the Mulsanne Straight, and I don't think he's close enough at the moment. I do believe that Brody does have enough pace to keep him at bay at the moment, but as I said, this man now, Cart Dude, is certainly the pioneer. And as soon as this rain hits, he's going to have to be the one that pulls the pin and goes, that's enough, I don't want any more of this, I'm going to put some wets on and see what they're like. But yeah, he's going to be pretty precise with his calculations, because these guys will be watching what's happening with his times. And if he starts slowing up, they'll certainly know it's not time to come in. But if he's quick enough, they'll certainly be ducking to the pits themselves. But the big thing is, if Cart Dude pulls the pin earlier, those guys will be looking at his lap times, and if they all pit together, it could be very disastrous for somebody like Wimpinator, because he's going to deal with that traffic in the pit lane, Trev.
He certainly will have to. So let's just recap here. Lap 3 out of 10 here. Round 4 of this championship at the famous Circuit de la Sarthe here at Le Mans. It is Kart Dude leading the man on your screen. 0.5 of a second ahead of Wimpinator. Oh, I thought he was going to have a bit of a moment there. Then it's Short Fuse in P3. Then it's our man Wilco, one of the untouchables there in the top 4. Voodoo John in 5th. Big Dick Johnson in 6th. Nemo in 7th. John Dog still holding on to 8th. And V8 Man, who had the spin. We didn't quite see whether it was contact exactly, but he has been released like a cork out of a bottle as we still see those raindrops coming down. But he is up to P8. John Dog in 9th. LJ Hooker. Thank you, Mr. Hooker, down there in 10th. Rick Oztech has made up a couple of positions off the starting line. Andy in 12th. Compact in 13th. And we saw him around at the start. And oh my goodness, 15 people watching the live stream. Hello and welcome to you. Good evening, wherever you're watching. Good morning, good afternoon, around the world. And Rimple, Dimple, Piston Broke, Aussie Assault says, review on Big Dick Johnson for his nudgy passing. And Piston Broke says, why a review? No penalty will be given. So controversy here, and that's just why we love this stuff. Lap 3 out of 10. And, well, the raindrops keep falling on my screen. When are they gonna need to change for wet tyres, Rob? That is gonna be the question. When is that changeover time? Is Nemo? Oh, big Nemo Nation sizing up Big Dick Johnson here. This man's got some pace.
Yes, Nemo is certainly sizing the big dick up himself, but although I do believe this man's more of a Dory than a Nemo indeed. But yeah, it looks like he's got some pace. I don't know where he actually came from because I don't remember him being that high up the grid. So this man's obviously doing a good job, and maybe he started higher up than I thought. But yeah, that is a good question. When is the time to switch over to the wets? And the problem is, with the size of the circuit, Trev, it could be dry like it is right here, right now in this sector, and absolutely pissing down in the next sector. So, yeah, it's that risk-reward sort of thing. Do you be safe if you go for the wets in the wet sector and overheat them in the dry sector? Do you go for the dries and be quick in the dry? And, of course, you'll be a lot quicker in the dry, but you're going to be a lot slower in the wet. So it's that risk-versus-reward thing going on. You can see John Dog in the pit lane there as well, and Hooked as well. So I don't know if these guys will be changing over their tyres at all, but it's certainly interesting to see them in this early.
Has he gone too early? Something I unfortunately know all too well, but Short Fuse still currently in P3. No, I'm just joking. Lap 4 out of 10, so we've got a couple of people in the pits. John Dog, we saw him in the pits, and LJ Hooker. And I've got to say, these guys outside of the top 10, Rob, they've got really nothing to lose and everything to gain, even if they do come in a little bit early, don't they? Because they can make up so many positions. It is such a long lap around here. So if you go even just one lap longer than what you should, then you could gain a lot of time here, especially for those guys down towards the back end of the field.
Yeah, certainly a lot of time indeed, but it's a tough one to call, isn't it, Trev? Because you just... you can sink your race with a wrong decision like that, especially on a circuit like this.
Certainly could, as Waffle says, depends if he's locked a wheel or not. Keep those comments coming in, don't be shy. We accept everybody here on the Kid Buyers channel because we love you. And you know that by now. Approaching half the race distance. Short Fuse there, currently in P3. And something that's just snuck up on me, like that bottle of Captain Morgan's on Grand Final Day 2 years ago, is that 6 people have penalties in this race, Rob. What on earth is going on here tonight?
People like the shunt, Trev, that's all I can say.
I tell you what, they must, because we've got 6 out of the 13 drivers have penalties. Short Fuse, Nemo, Big Dick Johnson, V8 Man, Hooker and Compact. As Aussie Assault says, do you love me, Trev? Well, I just said it, you heard it here first. We love each and every one of our beloved regulars, our drivers, our viewers. You are the guys that make it all possible. And I'm sure if Lewis Hamilton was here, Rob, he'd be saying, thank you guys. You guys are the best. You guys good? You guys are right? I get so much positive energy from you guys. It's just incredible. Thank you for that, Lewis. But boy, we've got all the stars on, don't we? We had Murray Walker last week for the V8 competition, and now Lewis. How do we get these names, Rob? It must be us. Personality.
Yes, personality brings in the big draw cards, I've got to say, Trev, and I just got to say that having Murray Walker in the commentary box is quite astounding. I haven't actually met Murray Walker before, Trev. I do believe I told you that story at Clipsal one year. He's a wonderful man, and it's just nice to hear that impression because it gives me some good memories back.
Certainly does. Absolutely love that story. There's only a few guys I'd like to meet in the F1 world, and well, one of them's no longer with us. One still is, and the other one's getting very old. But anyway, we'll leave that there. I'll let you work that one out for yourselves. But lap 4 out of 10, and it's Big Dick Johnson in 7th position. I've got to say, he didn't quite get a lap in, and he only did 2 laps of practice so far this week. But look at that for Big Dick's Racing. Or is it Big Dog's Racing? I'm not too sure. But Wilco, where is his teammate? Wilco in 4th position, Rob. So our man Wilco started 4th, all out on his own. He's had a pretty clean race up to this point. He's only 2 or so seconds off of 3rd. Short Fuse in 3rd and Wimpinator in 2nd. So I've got to say, Wilco, we haven't called his name too much tonight, so that's a good thing. He's pretty much running his own race, but very neat and tidy from our man.
Yeah, I mean, that's the trick to the circuit, is just keeping out of trouble. Especially, I mean, 10 laps, it's around this circuit is actually quite a long time. It's a lot longer than these guys are used to driving. I could happily do 2 hours of this circuit every day, any day. But, yeah, I mean, the trick is just to conserve and keep that car straight and narrow, because you never know what's going to happen in front of you, and it's just the easiest way to pick up positions. Of course, it does involve a bit of racing here and there, but you just got to keep that car as clean as you can, and Wilco's doing a fantastic job of that at the moment, Trev.
Certainly is, and can't do there with a 3-minute 54.6 lap last tour. Tour being French for lap, of course. And sacre bleu, because 5 laps gone out of 10, and that means that half the race gone and half still to go. Thank you for that, Murray, and hopefully I get that prize in the mail this week. I know there's some delays on the Australia Post stuff, but thank you for that, Murray. And well, lap 5, we've gone back to lap 4, now lap 5 again. Andy Holden crosses the line, but it's getting dark and wet here at the moment. You can see the clouds coming in, and I've checked the radar, and it is looking like it will be pissing down in a couple of laps' time, although we did reach that point where we thought we would be changing for the wet tyres, and I don't think the guys that have come in have done too well, have they? Rob, John Dog and somebody else came into the pits, but they don't seem to be doing too well at the moment, so I don't reckon we've reached the crossover point, as Piston Brokes just got a rather inappropriate joke there on the live stream comments, but thank you for that. Keep them coming in. This track is slipperier than a body at the morgue with a, yeah, so I'll leave that there. Oh, Short Fuse. Look to get a little bit out of shape there, Rob. And now, oh my goodness me, Wimpinator, I mean, and Short Fuse putting all sorts of pressure on him here, right up behind him. And Cart Dude, you can see him still out in the lead there ahead of this battle. It's Cart Dude, Wimpinator, Short Fuse. And a very tight and tough battle here at the front, and it's tight and tense in the championship. Of course, Wilco in 4th, Voodoo Child pretty much all out on his own. 7 seconds from Wilco in 4th and 6 seconds ahead of Nemo. And Waffles says, did you send that vid to Truss? And I'm not sure what he means by that, but V8 Man in 8th now. A long way ahead of Rick Oztech, who snuck into the top 10. Andy in 10th. John Dog in P11, LJ Hooker, and Compact down the back there in 12th and 13th. And Big Shep wants to know, can a Murray Walker impression? He says, can I see a dry line starting to form? Well, I don't know, Shep, whether I can see a dry line starting to form, but I reckon it's raining. Oh my goodness, look at that! And I forget what Murray Walker used to say when it was raining, but anyway, lap 6 out of 10. There you go, Big Shep. Thank you for that, and everybody who's joining us. And 13 people, lucky for some, watching the live stream tonight. But, well, I guess the next question comes down to strategy. Plain and simple, Roberto, with 4 laps to go in this race. The positions look pretty set at the moment. There's no real close battles in the field. But I reckon this is probably the closest one tonight, and Short Fuse is getting very close, Rob.
Yes, he's getting very close as I just have a pubescent moment. My voice just did break. I don't know why, but Short Fuse has certainly got some pace going at the moment. I would like to see how quick he is actually down the straight with that toe, because that could be a very good indicator on how much downforce he is running. You can see that Wimpinator there just holding his line. There's no need to argue about it, but I do believe that you can see that Short Fuse had that toe there for a second, and as soon as that he broke that toe, he did end up slowing down. So I do believe he's running a little bit more downforce, but shortened ratios indeed. But he's gotten past Wimpinator now, but Wimpinator gets that benefit of the toe at the moment, but Car Dude is doing a great job at the moment maintaining that gap. It's just only gotten bigger, and it's not by a big margin, it's just bit by bit. So this man is certainly looking after his car and his tyres at the moment. Car Dude knows how to win from this position, and certainly on this circuit as well. But it's starting to get a little bit darker now, Trev. Now the lights are on, and you can definitely see that the lights look fantastic on these cars. I've got to say, Short Fuse just absolutely bins it. Wimpinator goes behind, and Wimpinator gets that spot back, and now Short Fuse has all that work to do now, but Wilco is going to get that spot too.
And Wilco is up into third. Incredible stuff. Short Fuse off the track, facing the wrong way. He gathered it all up. But in the meantime, Wimpinator got through, and so did Wilco. And you're right, Rob, it's getting very, very dark here at the moment. Those lights do look rather nice on my screen as well, but that rain is getting heavier. And Big Shep, as Murray would say, the rain is getting heavier here. And, well, we've got a new subscriber too, Rob. Little Bo P has said, LOL, awesome commentary, guys. Liked and subscribed. Absolutely magnificent stuff. Thank you for that, Little Bo P. As a Short Fuse and Wilco. Wilco says, I'm going to stay on the inside. Short Fuse, in fact, no, it's the other way around. Short Fuse on the inside, Wilco on the outside, but that's going to change very quickly. And look at this, it's a drag.
Oh, this is brave, but Wilco's caught out of it. That's a smart move from that guy. I mean, yeah, Wilco made a great decision there and just let him have it, because there's no point arguing over a certain accident indeed. But Wilco's going to certainly be in fourth and pick up some decent points, but it's going to be interesting to see what happens with this rain, because I'd love to see it absolutely piss down, Trev.
It would be great to see it absolutely piss down, which is the meteorological term in Australian language. Pissing down. Lap 6 out of 10 there. Short Fuse had a moment. He's managed to gather it all back together though, and he's currently in P3. But what about the drivers lower down the order? And 6th place is Nemo, and he's not too far behind Voodoo. And wow, that gap, Voodoo, has he had a moment there, Wilco? Because, Wilco, you're not Wilco, you're Rob. Rob, because he was 6 seconds or so, wasn't he, ahead of Nemo? Almost enough time to just have a casual cone, but now he's all over the back of him.
Yeah, the old casual cone. We do love Voodoo's attitude to life. Just smoke it and see what happens, and we all do appreciate that. But yeah, maybe Voodoo's made a mistake. He's still sitting in 5th though, so that's not such a bad thing. And we can see the top 4 coming into pit lane now, Trev.
Here they are, Cart Dude, Wimpinator, Short Fuse and Wilco. Who is going to get the jump? And somebody's off. Is it Voodoo? Is it off? Oh no, he's into the pit lane. He just went his own way about it there into the pit lane. But Short Fuse comes in now. No fuel going into the car. And Cart Dude comes out of the pits. And Wilco saying, are you salty, Waff? Ah ha ha ha. As Cart Dude comes out of the pits, where are they going to feed out? Now look at this. The top 6 are in. Nemo is in. Wilco is in and out of the pits. So, boy, I reckon we've reached the time. Big Dick Johnson says, don't forget about me, and V8 Man into the pits. So they're all coming in at the moment, Rob, at the same time.
Yeah, very interesting. Andy Holden's gone just off the circuit. Indianapolis managed to pull it up, but yeah, it's certainly wet there at the moment. I can't see any rooster tails coming off the car, but yeah, just a bit greasy, a little bit colder in the nighttime conditions. So these guys are just going to take that gamble, and well, not gamble now, it's a sure done certainty, and just duck into the pit lane. But Kaji's actually extended his lead by another 4 seconds, so it's throwing a bit of a spanner in the works for a few of these guys. Wimpinator just not having enough temperature into the tyres at the moment and going a bit wide onto the grass. But other than that, the biggest person who has the opportunity now is Wilco.
It certainly is Wilco. What can he do? He is coming up behind Short Fuse like a joke, which I probably shouldn't mention, but darkness is descending. I'm not sure what the word for dark is in French. I'm sure we can look that up, but lap 7 out of 10 here. Wilco right up behind Short Fuse. And then a further 3 seconds down the road, it's Wimpinator, then Voodoo Child. No time for a cone at this stage. Well, maybe he's 30 seconds ahead of Big Dick Johnson there. So if anything, he's actually, he's one out of that, hasn't he, Rob? He's in 6th. And, well, everyone around him's got penalties. So he's missing a headlight there, Voodoo, but he's not in bad shape, actually.
He's not in bad shape. His lungs are looking very good indeed, Trev. Probably wakes up with a little bit of a cough in the morning. Okay, probably a really big cough. Bit of mucus on the lungs from all those cones he's had the night before. But, yeah, he's looking very, very good at the moment, Trev.
He certainly is. And with his one headlight, we might have to whack a canary on that, I reckon, Rob. As we can see the rooster tails. And that is a sure sign that the rain is getting heavier here. And
oh, that's Nemo!
And Nemo is around. And as Piston Broke says,
oh, what's going on there? Jesus, Nemo couldn't even find his way out of a fucking toilet bowl if he tried.
Out of a wet paper bag, as Papa Byers used to say. And the old man, as Foncé is dark in French. I think that's how you say that. Thank you for that, Piston Broke. But sacre bleu! Nemo there having a moment, and like you said, he couldn't find his way out of a wet paper bag because he came straight back onto the track. And just look how slippery it is, Rob. This is unbelievable at the moment, and these boys are going to really earn their money in the last 3 laps. And Nemo, a bit of silly salmon action down there.
Yeah, a bit of silly salmon action. I actually just remembered something, Trev, from our last broadcast from this circuit. I did pee on my hands.
Yes, that's certainly fond memories of that last broadcast, of course, and we might have had a few frothies before that one, but we certainly were taking the piss in more ways than one. But Nemo now is currently in P5, 9 seconds. I tell you what, these conditions are getting treacherous. And Piston Broke, if you could tell us what treacherous is in French, that would be magnificent if you could translate that. But Wimpinator, 7.6 seconds off the lead in that beautiful, I love that colour scheme, Rob. It gets me each and every week. As Wimpinator now 7 seconds off the lead. And hopefully they can do it again in I reckon that 8 seconds now, so that lead is getting bigger, isn't it, to Cartoon in first. And I hate to say it, we can see the commentator's curse, but is Cartoon home here? He's lapping 4 seconds quicker than anybody else at the moment, Nelly.
Oh, you never know, Trev. Anything could happen, and it usually does. But I would love to see that German flag hoisted once again in France. I got to say, a little bit of Deutschland, Deutsche, Uber alles. But yes, it's just a great colour scheme, isn't it? Just reminds me of the good old days back in 1938 to 1945. Just the time to be, really.
Probably those good days up to about 43, I reckon. But anyway, we won't talk about Stalingrad, don't mention that. But lap 8 out of 10 here as Nemo now into the pits. Did he pick up some damage from that little spin he had a moment ago on the previous lap? The car looks in pretty good shape as we see now Voodoo Child. Will he get that damage repaired? And if he does, Rob, what sort of time are these guys going to lose for repairs in the pit lane here?
A lot is the answer there, Trev. I certainly can't say how much, but yeah, they'll be dropping through the order of the grid. So people like V8 Man, Big Dick Jono and John Dog are looking pretty at the moment for an extra place or two.
Certainly are, as the man you mentioned, V8 Man, now goes up into 6th position as Voodoo Child. And as Waffles says, treacherous is perfide in Google. That sounded Italian, didn't it? But perfide, that sounds a little bit better. But V8 Man, oh no, he just had a little bit of a moment there, and I reckon that Nemo, he's gone all the way up to 5th there, so he's jumped Nemo, and Big Dick Johnson in the pits again. What on earth is happening here?
Yeah, this is weird. These guys might have picked up some damage with wet tyres. I'm not too sure, but Wimpinator is actually cutting into a car dude's lead now. But don't think it's going to be enough at this point in the race to catch him. But he's certainly lapping a lot quicker on this lap than he did last lap. You just see how quick watching that time there just drop on the Mulsanne straight. So. I do believe this man's probably carrying a lot more downforce indeed, so he's pretty handy with the wet conditions and the higher downforce. And I don't want to go into my full Bill Cosby, but the fingering and the rapping. But that's another story for later, Trev. But yeah, car dude certainly, I think, home at this point.
He certainly is, but like we say, anything can happen in Grand Prix racing or any kind of racing, and it usually does. And as Voodoo says, what a joke. What a yoke. Nemo smashed me going into the pits on lap 6, cost me a 1-minute pit stop and tons of damage. So our man Conan, the Barbarian, not very happy there. Big Shep says it's very moisture out. It is very moist out there, Shep. And Waffles says, with Nemo, it was either lag or your fault, Voodoo. Piston Broke says, V, I am feeling your pain from China. And lots of action going on there. We won't talk about China too much tonight. But Nemo, well, we said Conan the Barbarian, but is it Nemo the Barbarian? As he's copping a little bit of heat in the comments tonight, Rob, our man.
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of deserved, to be honest. The man couldn't even swim through a river if he tried. But yeah, let's be honest, Trev, it's kind of deserved. He made some very, very poor decisions a couple of laps ago, and now he's getting the flak for it. So he's just got to take it on the chin and go, yep, that's my fault, and move on with it. But yeah, a lot of guys ragging on him at the moment, and we love a good rag sesh.
It certainly is raining in France, Dimple. And you are spot on, my friend. Lap 8 out of 10 here. And Nemo is a couple of seconds off of V8 man. Oh, Compact. And Compact, what is going on there? Oh, no!
Oh, Big Dick Jono Compact. Big Dick Jono Compact into the wall.
And he compacted into the wall. Two great minds think alike, Roberto, because I knew exactly what you were saying there. As Wimpinator in that German car of his, looking to conquer France once again. And what's our favourite season in Paris, Rob?
Invasion season? Blitzkrieg season.
I think it's fall, isn't it? But
anyway, very good.
Big Shep wants to know, how are the chickens, Rob? You'll address that man, our man, as assistant manager Shep. He's working his way up the ranks towards the status of chicken Führer. And how are those chickens going, Rob?
Yes, they're alive. They're looking very tasty. I put some seasoning on them today, and they just smelt delicious. So they'll be in your KFC stores in about 30-odd days there, Trev.
Certainly will be. Pissed and Broke says, ha ha, someone help him. Shit after the compaction. Rimple Dimple says, was that a lock-up and a loss of control? Keep your hilarious comments coming in. And thank you for the French translations. Compact just bouncing around off the walls there. A bit like that Irish guy, Rick O'Shea. Yeah, okay.
That's good. That's good.
I can hear the crickets, but no more dad jokes for me tonight as we are on the penultimate lap of this race. Le penultimate is French for penultimate lap, I'm sure. But Nemo is coming into the pits from 6th position. And let's just recap, if you are joining us on our live stream tonight, it is Kart Dude, and the Taswegian is used to it being dark, wet and cold in Tasmania. He is out front, but that lead is closing. He's lost a second on this lap. Look at this. It's gone. He's lost a second. Now it's going back up again. Wimpinator must have his pedal to the metal, flat out, as Murray Walker used to say. But that gap's going up. I don't know whether he had a moment there, Rob. I just got awfully excited there. But Wimpinator in second. Kart Dude on your screens now. He is sitting pretty for the win tonight, but it's not over until the fat lady sings. Ooh, and she's not going to sing yet. Shades of Rex Hunt there, if anyone's old enough to remember good old Rex Hunt, the famous football caller, but...
yes, I've kissed a few fish in my eye, Trev, if you know what I mean.
Yibbida yibbida, that's all, folks. As a penultimate lap of this race, big hello to you, Rexy. We know Sam Newman likes a good Kid Buyers live stream, and it's been a funny old year, I'll tell you. But lap 9 out of 10, Can't Dude out in front, reveling in these conditions. I saw there was a replay of the 1996 Spanish Grand Prix on the F1 YouTube channel the other night, or this morning, in fact, Rob. And the great Michael Schumacher there, absolutely master in the rain. And Can't Dude very Schumacher-esque tonight here in the rain in the last half of this race here at Le Mans.
Yes, very masterful indeed. He's put in a great performance, led from start to finish. At this point, I don't want to put the commentator's curse on him, but it's, you know, that commentator's curse is a real thing, Trev. And every time we've mentioned somebody doing well, they've absolutely stuffed it into a wall. So we don't want to go too far at the moment. But Winternader is actually doing a fantastic job now, almost lapping about 2 seconds quicker. It'll be interesting to see what his lap time is on this lap. Indeed, he's not that far away from the four chicanes, but man, it's definitely putting in a good performance. A little bit too late, too sorry though for that man. Short fuse, just not getting a great start at the start of the race, Trev, and made some moves on Wimpinator and threw it away on the Mulsanne chicanes and just lost out in the pit stops there, just getting blocked by a bit of traffic, and languishing down in third place for our pole sitter. And Wilco has just been very silent, moving and shaking indeed, but this man will be happy with the points he's picking up tonight.
He certainly will be. Our man Wilco picking up a good bag of points here tonight. He's kept his nose clean, no penalties, no major incidents, at least that we've seen on the stream tonight. Look at that, he's just got to tiptoe so carefully, like there's an egg under the accelerator pedal here in these treacherous conditions. But LJ Hooker, what is he doing down there in P8? All on his own at the moment, as Piston Broke says, say hi to your mum. And Big Shep, my mate, found it hard to get toilet paper, so he began using lettuce leaves. And Shep says it's only the tip of the iceberg.
Oh, that's good. That's delicious. Not the poo lettuce, I'll be honest, but that's a fine dad joke indeed.
It certainly is. And stop everything, because Big Grinner's joined us. He says, hey boys, big hello to you, Grinner. Hope you are going well in self-isolation, my friend, and all of that social distancing stuff. But we are on the final lap of this race. And thank you for joining us, Grinner. But you have come at a good time. And Can't Dude, let's just recap for Grinner, who's joined us on the stream. Can't Dude leads, Wimpinator in second, the man on your screen there, 5/10 behind our race leader at the moment, Short Fuse in third, Wilco in fourth. Then it's V8 man Dane Williams, the man from Queensland, in P5 there. Then it's John Dog with no penalties down there in P6. And he's been hit there a few times, I reckon. Nemo in 7th. And then it's LJ Hooker in P8. Thank you, Mr. Hooker. And then it's Voodoo Child. Baby. Time for a cone or two. And then 10th. Rounding out our top 10, it's Andy Holden taking the final points-paying position here as we give out modern-style F1 points. If you're new to the stream, hello to you. And this championship. And then it is Rick Oztech, about a day and a half behind there. I reckon Rick Oztech, and totally another time zone there, Rob, but he will get to the end of this race, and Compact is 3 seconds behind him. And there you go, you're completely up to date. But we are on the final lap of this race, and was that a little bit of argy-bargy there for Can't Dude? That gap's down to 3 seconds. It's not over yet, Rob. You can visually see Wimpinator in the background.
Yes, you can certainly visually see Wimpinator in the background, but I do believe Cardi just had a bit of a scary moment coming off the Mulsanne straight into that hard braking zone, and had a rough time trying to get away and get traction, or at least certainly looked very, very slow, that getaway. But Wimpinator needs a miracle now. Maybe a lone man gunman in a grassy knoll, or maybe on a bridge to take out Can't Dude. But I do believe that that's not going to happen tonight. But Wimpinator sure hopes it does.
He certainly will be. He'll need something. He'll need a miracle from here on in. because Kart Dude, the man who is currently 5th in the championship, he's on 24 points. And he's going to double that. In fact, he's going to go one better than that. He's going to pick up 25 points here tonight if he can just get through the last few kilometres of this lap. Final lap of the race, round 4 of this championship. It's been great to have your company last night and tonight as well, as here comes our man, Kart Dude, the man from Launceston in Tasmania. Everybody's favourite Taswegian, that's what we call him. That's the man we know and love. And we always like to say there will be a public holiday tomorrow down there in Tasmania if this man can just get through the final few corners and win this race tonight. He's getting mighty, mighty close through the second last corner. Into the last corner, Kart Dude is going to win here at Le Mans. The famous Circuit de la Sarthe. Kart Dude is the king of France tonight. He takes victory here in Tier 1. Whippinator in second. Short Fuse in third. Across the line, and as we wait for our man Wilco to finish 4th. Lights flashing as you can see. And he will come across the line like we said, Rob. A handy load of points for our man, which will do his championship no harm at all. And then a further 51 seconds back is our man, V8 man, as Waffles wants to know, did Jono retire? We started with 13, we're down to 12. We started with the Baker's dozen, now we've just got a dozen. So I reckon Big Dick Johnson did retire from this race. And we might get a comment on that a little bit later on as V8 man runs a little bit wide there. But, well, he's guaranteed. Is he guaranteed 6th position, 5th position? I reckon he is.
Yeah, without a doubt. Without a doubt, Trev, he's got 5th. And if he doesn't, I'll be making a protest and I'll be writing a strongly worded letter to our local Prime Minister. Local Prime Minister, our Prime Minister, and maybe even the local council as well, stating that he does deserve that 5th position.
Well, we met down at the Grand Prix. We shared a drink together. We bumped elbows at the end of the day. We didn't know that that would be the only day we would see each other down at Albert Park. But this man comes across the line in 5th position with a little bit of silly salmon over the line, if you don't mind. And he has taken 5th position, and now John Dog with one light on his wagon. And that looks like a German car from 1945 rather than 1939. But Rob, I won't bring up any bad memories for you, my good man. He has no penalties, and he should come home in 6th position. As Big Grinner says, Alan Shep says, I should say, KFC new sponsorship for Kart Dude. Well done, podium. Congratulations, Carty. Thank you, Waffles. The sportsman that you are. Grinner says, hey, Al, how did you know I use lettuce leaves? As we wait for LJ Hooker. John Don crosses the line. Nemo crosses the line. Hashtag Nemo Nation. And LJ Hooker. Thank you, Mr. Hooker, as he comes across the line to finish in P8. And look at this. There's a little spicy battle going on here for P9, Rob.
Yeah, certainly spicy. Andy Holden is too far back now, but one more lap, and I reckon Andy Holden might have had certainly a chance to pick up just a couple more points there. Voodoo Child getting all sorts of out of shape across the line, just absolutely sending it sideways. Now we've got the long wait for Compact and Rico Tech to get to the finish line. So maybe if we start commentating the cricket, Trev, it'll be very interesting. Oh wait, we can't have cricket because some prick in China ate a bat.
Yes, that's why they can't play cricket, because they'll eat the bat. We saw that joke a couple of weeks ago. Beautiful lead in there, Roberto. But I guess we could call the cricket, couldn't we, while we wait another half an hour or so for Compact and Rick Oztech to cross the line. Who could forget those old school Ashes broadcasts, Rob? Great shot by Bradman. Bradman through the offside. That'll be 2 runs there. Bradman really dominating here. The Invincibles just going very well here on the 48 Tour. It took them 3 months to get here, though, but sorry about that, Rob. I'll leave that there. But another great shot by Bradman. That's a big 6. But here we go. Race complete. Where on earth was I going with that, Rob? That wasn't even funny.
I have a slight idea, but the true story of Bradman would be, yes, I've absolutely slogged that ball, and now I'm going to go over there and slog my wife.
Yes. Look at that. Compact is, I think I can. He's going to make it. He's going to get there. The little BMW that could. in the American livery. And look at this compact. God bless America as he comes across the line. And he takes 11th position, better late than never. And Rick Oztech, has he run out of fuel, has he? No, he's still going there. He's got 44 seconds to get this done, and I don't reckon he's going to make it here, is he?
I don't think he is, but, you know, maybe if we all hold hands, pray and sing Kumbaya for this man, a miracle will happen, but I don't think it's going to, Trev.
No, as we wait for him to come across the line. Hallelujah. Hallelujah.
Hallelujah. Hallelujah.
Hallelujah. Oh, off goes Rick Oztech. And it must have been the singing. He must have the stream on in the background. And he is he's spending more time on the grass than Voodoo on a long weekend. But there we go. There we have it. That is all she wrote here. Can't Do taking the win by 3 seconds over Wimpinator. Short fuse. Not the best race for him by his lofty standards, but we'll still be able to ask him what happened in the post-race podium interviews, as there's plenty of action in the chat box. Please get your questions in if you're watching this stream. We would love to hear from you. Our man Wilco in 4th, V8 Man in 5th, Dane Williams from Brisbane in Queensland, John Dog in 6th, Nemo in 9th, LJ Hooker down there, Voodoo Child, the man with the reputation there in P9, Andy in P10th, taking the final points paying position. He might have had a chance at Voodoo with another lap, but compact in 11th, and Rick Oztech did not finish, but boy, he really made us work for it, Rob, at the end of that race.
Yes, he made us earn it, just like the local hooker makes me earn it as well. Of course, I'm talking about Hooked XR8. He's driven a great race indeed. I don't want to get myself into any trouble there, Trev, indeed. But we got some people slowly joining the party now. We've got Wimpinator, we've got Short Fuse joining. We're waiting for our man who won the race, Can't Do It as well. But very exciting race, a little bit more exciting down the mid-pack. But it'll be interesting to see what these guys say, Trev.
Certainly will be, as we wait. 14 people still watching this stream. How good is that? Nowhere else you want to be on a Thursday night. Don't forget, 2 nights a week we are back for this action. Brody Sward, the great man. Hail the great man, Richie. Hail, as Big Brody is in the chat now into the post-race interviews. Hopefully these boys will allow their voice to be shared. But of course it doesn't matter, because we're on OBS software, of course, as we welcome our race winner. The man from Launceston down in Tasmania has got the job done tonight, Rob, and I'll throw to you for our post-race interviews.
Yes, Cardi, great race there. Led from start to finish. It must be all the NASCAR, mate.
Yeah, don't forget the Dirt Rally 2.0. Thanks, PCN, for the free game. But definitely NASCAR Heat 4, Gran Turismo, bit of FIFA, keep your head level, and NASCAR Heat 4. That's how you get it done.
That's great news. And how many chicken fillets have you personally inseminated at work lately?
Wait, sorry, what was that question again?
How many chicken fillets have you personally inseminated at work lately?
Quite a few.
Good to hear.
Good stuff there. Something about chickens, I missed that. But anyway, someone was sending me a message. But Can't Dude, great result tonight. You came in tonight with 24 points, mate. I think you were 5th in the championship. But you managed to get the win tonight, and you never know what can happen, mate. With 2 races to go, are you a sneaky chance, if you can keep this sort of form up, to be a championship contender, possibly?
Dude, so I doubled my points in one race.
More than doubled.
More than doubled? Ooh. Well, if I do that again, that's not possible. But, no, it is. It's 2 races. I just need to double my points from now. And then maybe it is. Who knows? Strange things can happen when you're going round a twist, Rob.
Have you ever felt like this?
Yep, great show. Great show, that one. Used to watch that primary school on rainy days. But anyway, thank you for that, Cart Dude, and the whole of Launceston will be up and about tonight. If indeed you do live in Launceston, I'm not too sure. But big hello to everyone down there in Tasmania. Ricky Ponting and Cart Dude, just some of the big names to come out of Tasmania there. But thank you for that. Tim Payne as well for good measure. But thank you, Cartoon. Congratulations on the win tonight. And parlez-vous to you. And we will catch you next week.
Yeah, thank you. Don't forget about the Bev show in Hobart as well. He's famous too.
Big Bev, the big unit down there, or big small unit down there, as we welcome Wimpinator, our man Wimpinator in the glorious German livery. Wimpinator, can you hear us?
I can, yeah, I can hear you.
Good stuff. Now, mate, talk us through your race. Finishing 3.1 seconds off the win. Was the win on the cards tonight, despite Cartoon's dominance, mate, or was it second, probably the best you were going to do?
Nah, second for sure. Probably liked a bit of practice, which is why I probably didn't have the peak pace. But yeah, start was good, had a good start. I think got past Shorty before turn one, so that was good. And pretty much just the entire race, just following Cardi around. Eventually he just got away. We had our pit stops, and then yeah, just pretty much behind him the whole race. Not much to really report.
And just talk us through. Sorry, Rob, I've cut in on your interview here, but just talk us through that changeover period, mate. We saw it getting darker, we saw it getting wetter, and the rain getting heavier. Where were some of the most challenging corners around this circuit? It is a long circuit, but where did you find it most challenging as those conditions gradually got worse?
Basically, any corner that had some kind of curb on it, you just got to be careful. It's, some of the water kind of congregates there, so you got to be careful. We don't want to be putting too much tire on the curbs and just spinning out for no reason. So, yeah, just got to be careful on the curbs. Besides that, there wasn't too many puddles or anything, so it was actually okay. Just had to kind of pace myself. Just wanted to do a safe race, and yeah, happy with second place in the end.
Well, good stuff, mate. It was a fantastic result tonight, and congratulations to you. And we will catch you next week, mate. Congratulations. We'll catch you next week.
Thank you. See you then.
Awesome stuff. Thank you, Wimpinator there, our man. He's just got a nice sort of disposition about him, doesn't he, Rob, our man? Just sounds good on the microphone. We love him too. Wimpinator there finishing in second place. Short Fuse 141, the man who took pole position, stormed to pole position with a 3 minutes 52.9 something. He was looking good at this race. Short Fuse, how do you feel after finishing third, mate? Could you have got more tonight?
No, I reckon third was the highest I could get. Had a little bit of pressure from Wilco at the start of the race after dodging the start. And as soon as the wet transitioned over, I had pace in the car, but Cardi in that just had too much of a gap ahead of me. So I just consolidated third and strong position to head into the next race.
Certainly is, mate. Nothing wrong with that, of course. You'll be thinking the long game. 2 more rounds to go. 50 points up for grabs, of course. So third position, you can live to fight another day with that. Got to be happy with a podium finish. Just another quick question, mate, before we let you go. We saw you picked up a 3-second penalty. Can you tell us a little bit more about where that might have occurred?
Oh, yeah. It was on the exit coming onto the first straight. I had Wilco applying maximum pressure, trying to dart down the inside, and I just ran a little bit wide over the curb and picked up that slowdown.
Oh, good stuff. Thanks for clearing that up. Short Fuse there, finishing third place, mate. Congratulations. Still a podium. You dominated in qualifying, mate. You still managed to put it in P3 despite the changeable conditions. Congratulations to you, mate. You'll be thinking about the long game with 2 more rounds to go, mate. Congratulations and thanks for joining us.
Thank you. Have a good night.
You too, mate. Take care. And that's our 1, 2, 3 done. Cart Dude, Wimpinator, and Short Fuse Rob. I think we're almost out of time here tonight. A couple of minutes remaining in the stream, but big thank you to you, of course, assistant manager down there at your establishment there. But awesome stuff. Thanks for another night of really good racing.
Yeah, no, it's good, great racing, and as usual, the mid-pack certainly threw up some excitement for all of us to watch. Cardi drove a fantastic race. Short Fuse, I feel like he was pretty unlucky, to be honest. He certainly had the speed for first, but the car looked like a handful. Wimpinator just keeping a nice and clean, smooth operator, that man, coming home in second. So on to next week, and yeah, the championship is wide open, mate.
Certainly is. That's just the way we like it. Good close racing, good close battle in the championship. Next week we head to Brno, the Brno circuit in the Czech Republic. That's a pretty good circuit as well, so stick around for that. Next week, Tier 2 will be live streamed next Wednesday night from 8:30 p.m. Eastern Time. And then we'll be back next Thursday as well for round 4 of this championship for Tier 1 from 8 p.m, so half an hour earlier. for Tier 1 than Tier 2. It's been great to have everybody's company here tonight. Big Shep. Don't forget to thank your mother for the rabbits. Thank you, Big Shep, Wilco, Waffles, Cart Dude, getting the win tonight. Everybody else who joined us on the live stream, thank you for your company. Stay healthy, be kind to one another, and we'll see you next week. Au revoir for now.